Welcome to the third round of the 2016 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. I'm Pete Deluski, joined here today with Jason
Hello,
Richardson.
hello.
We're out here. Qualification rounds have just begun, and we'll get things going, give you the schedule for the day. This is what we have to expect. We have those qualifications for the elite men and women, go through the 3 rounds of racing, then we'll move over to the time trials for the elite women and the super final time trials for the elite men, crowning a champion in each of those for the day. As we get through here, the newly reconfigured track in Papendal, we can give you a GoPro run and see how it looks from the camera of Barry Nobles. He was following Bodie Turner around the track here in Papendal, and we'll let Jason talk you through that track once we have the run shown and give you a point of view of the track here in
So
Papendal.
they are down the hill, hitting a triple step up, a couple pedals into a double down the first straight, another couple pedals into a big triple step into the first turn. These turns are wide open. Step down, over a step up, little kick out from Bodie Turner, over a double, and then berm jump into the newly built and very smooth like glass concrete turn. Then there's this huge step up with a wall. It's a bit squared off, so they're going to want to make sure they can get over that lip through the rhythm. Double, 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 step up, step down in the last corner. And it looks like Bodie's shutting it down, but then there's a double, another double, another double, and a roller at the end. You don't want to forget about that roller.
So that's a lap around the track here in Papendal, and as we said, the qualification runs have begun, and we're going to get you right up to the top of the hill for our next race as we get ready for the qualifications here on day number 1 of racing in Papendal for stop number 3 of the 2016 UCI BMX World Cup Tour. So here is our start list for heat number 9. It's going to be shippers Dean Ospana, Bonsik, Menser, Bear, DeFranche, and Waktai. So those are the riders on the gate. Get ready as they get their first run here in Papendal. Perfect weather conditions, Jason. A little bit of wind, but definitely better than what we've had here over the past few years with no chance of rain.
Yes, beautiful weather. I'd keep my eye on that green and yellow as Anthony Dean comes flying out of the gate. Had a couple of injuries these past over earlier in the year, but seems to have healed up quite well. He's got good command of this second straight. Oh, spoke too soon. A little bit of a case. Looks like second place caught up, but he's getting over the berm jump. Looks like he slipped a pedal, came off a pedal, and Shippers came back around. Shippers, oh, local here, homeland favorite, but managing to stay up front. Maybe the wind got to him a little bit, or maybe just nerves. But we have Shippers and Waktai and then Bear, the German, in third. Looks like Shippers is going to hold on to it with Waktai and Bear for third.
Yeah, definitely unfortunate there for Anthony Dean, but good to see him back on track. Had that injury, broken collarbone, and unfortunately for right now, his best is going to be 6th place, so it's not unmanageable to get through the rest of the day.
That will mix up points for qualifying for sure.
So we'll get ready for heat number 10. DuPont, Greeling, Nobles, Crispa, Bezoar, Denulor, and Charvin. So those riders atop the gate, Jason, ready for their first run. Heat number 10. We have 15 motos for the elite men,
Yeah, we have
or
quite a
19.
big contingent, and there's going to be some big names in these motos coming up. Gate pops, and it looks like Barry Nobles with the hole shot. I mean, really taking command of that first straight. Dipping it over into the first turn, looking kind of nice. He definitely, after that GoPro lap, he definitely has some comfort on the track, almost getting out of camera sight. Going into the second corner, got Nobles, Crespo Olivan, Gearling over that step up. That step up has a really square landing, so you really want to get over that, get to that backside. Otherwise, you can just kind of bounce and topple over. But Barry has a big lead going into the last straight. Looks like we have a race for second between Olivan and Gearling. Looks like Olivan got the second and Gearling third, and Charavin for the fourth.
Yeah, so good for Barry Nobles, the momentum from winning that GoPro lap, beating.
GoPro lap's always extra practice.
So there we go with our Heat 11 start list. Kelvin Beatty, Scarito, Carlos Aquindo, Svab, Sebesta, Furlan, Surgua, and Dumont. Those are our 8 riders loaded up in the gate. Interesting group of riders
It
here.
is an interesting, pretty diverse group of riders. We have Kelvin Beatty, who's been on the circuits. He's a Masters World Champ twice, and he's deciding to make his Olympic bid. And we have Tanner Sebesta, the American. He's back on the circuit now, but it looks like we have a Colombian taking the lead.
Yeah, it's Carlos Oquindo.
So Okendo, Sebesta, DeMont, top three going into the second straight, going into the second turn. A little bit of an overjump by Okendo, but Okendo's no stranger to crazy situations. He is an Olympian, he is a medalist, and so he gained his composure quite well heading into this rhythm section. Looks like we had a bit of a race for second, almost first. Sebesta was trying to contest, but then he just ended up trying to hold on. So Sebesta with the second, Okendo with the first, and Furlan with the third.
Yeah, so Kelvin Beatty will settle for fifth this time. So we'll get ready for our next heat, which should be moto number 12 for the elite men, their first run. Cameron, Peebles, Willoughby, Godet, Kimman, Elbers, Ezekiel, and Lopez. Definitely a lot of names. You know, a few riders that skipped a couple of rounds. So you'll see someone such as Sam Willoughby here in these early qualification rounds, as well as Damien Godet, someone that's a name that we see a lot, as well as Matthew Cameron also in this early heat here. So we'll see how things go. Pretty stacked for an early moto, Jason.
It is. Sam Willoughby out strong. We have Kimmin on the outside, and looks like Cameron's in second. And Godet testing Cameron's will in the first corner, but coming out looks like Cameron stays in second. Sam has a strong lead, pedaling everywhere. Feet are moving fast. He looks pretty comfortable on this track. A lot of bike movement, but I think he's just staying loose and having a good time. Whoa, a little bit of an overjump into that step, but still manages to maintain his lead. Cameron and Godet in second and third with the Dutch rider Kimmin, and in fourth, almost fifth, but it looks like Willoughby is going to handle that moto quite well with Godet, Cameron, and Ezekiel de Souza in fourth.
As a photo finish there for that second place spot, looks like Godet will edge out Cameron just at the line. So as we said, a lot of these riders, some of these big names in these early qualifications doesn't get much bigger than the rider in heat number 13, Mara Strongbergs, slots Juster, Carrion, Emilio Fallo, David Herman, and Ponomrev. Again, a lot of big name riders here in these early qualifications. And
yeah, you have a couple of Olympians in this, and you know it's interesting because these guys are heading. This is an Olympic year. We have the World Championships coming up, so you can see the strategy playing out as some guys are not already seeded and they're racing these early motos, but it makes it a great show for us. So Mara Stromberg's out strongly out of the gate with a strong first place into the first turn. Looks like we have Juster and then Herman following up, but Quentin Caliron really working to make some moves. He might pop into that third spot. Yeah, he gets under Herman in that second corner. Stromberg's keeping it nice and steady going into this rhythm section. Whoa, with a little bit of a case. I think the wind might have caught him a bit. So we have Stromberg's, Juster, Caliron, and Herman in the fourth, and I think that's how they'll finish up.
Yes, coming across the line, Mara Strongbergs, Juster, Carrion, and David Herman will be your top four. So for Mara, skipping one of the rounds earlier puts him in these qualification rounds. David Herman just outside the top riders qualified, pre-qualified. So we'll get ready for Heat 14. Jones, Lopez, Hubert, Laustin, Matsushita, Link, and Williams.
I was talking to Trent Jones's trainer early on. He said that he's looking really good, and it's just going to be a matter of time before he has that breakthrough race. So maybe we'll see that here, huh, Pete? In the first moto, Trent Jones. I don't know.
I didn't hear what he said, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Trent Jones' trainer.
Oh.
And he was saying he was looking for that breakthrough race. Oh, but it looks like he broke ground and fell down. He had a good pop, but just slid out. I think got a little wind lock and gravity lock and fell down. So we have Loston, Hubert, and Link in their top three. Loston lofting it in the air. And wow, whoa, this is looking pretty bad. A little bit of a steeplechase into the second corner. Hubert, Link, Loston, these guys are going to be blown out, very tired by the end of this lap. There's a lot of pedaling, but it looks like the top four is going to be pretty safe because everyone else either didn't make it or went down. So this will definitely mix things up for the next round, and the points will be all over the place. But looks like you have the Danish guy in front, Lauston, then Hubert, Link, and Lopez for the fourth.
That was like a haunt of the history of that section of the track. We had that crossover jump that nobody really liked. We had that box jump over here. This whole section's been changed, and we haven't seen anybody so far yet in practice or competition just have to be able to roll
Yeah,
through there. But
I don't know what quite happened. We see Trent Jones rolling around the rest of the track. I think he got. I think it just might have had a couple of gusts of wind at the wrong time, both in the first straight and the second straight, which is all it takes to either mess up someone's speed or just interrupt that train of thought as they're going through those sections. So we have some people making some final adjustments as they head out. I'm sure this is not the way they wanted to finish a first moto. You always want to come out of the first moto and come out with a 1, 2, or 3. You definitely don't want to be behind the 8 ball.
so heat 15 up on the gate: Molina, Limburg, Kimmen, Viede, Thurkensten, Van Roveren, Cabarilla, and Ramos. Again, yeah, as we said, the weather conditions are perfect. The wind, there's always a little bit of wind out here, and to me, it doesn't look like it's that bad. But Jason, you can see the flags up there. How would that affect you as
Yeah,
these
and
riders pop the gate?
on top of that hill, everything seems exaggerated. The jumps seem a little bit bigger or steeper, and the wind seems to be blowing harder, even if it's not necessarily blowing harder. Keenman just comes flying out of the gate, our current world champion, local track, local hero, just really getting through it. He hung up a little bit on that second double in the second straight, but he's got Keenman, Molina, and Vede. This is definitely a pretty strong moto with these top 3 guys. These guys are no strangers to getting in those semis and those mains. Keenman finishing strong. Molina goes to third as the Latvian gets the second.
Yeah, so Kimmen has to run in these motos. He sits outside the top 16. Top 16 riders in the overall points. After our first 2 rounds are pre-qualified for those super finals, even though Nick Keenman's our current world champion. He sits just in 17th in points. Hadn't had a great start of his season, but he said he felt strong, and this is where he made his first main event of any Supercross last year, and we remember he was the one who was able to win from lane 8.
That's right. He picked lane 8, and everybody said, "Oh," and then he handled it. So we'll see what happens this year, eh?
So we'll get ready for the next run here. Heat number 16. It's going to be Durham, Webster, Riccardi, Turner, Harmonson, Planting, Kronk, and Pillard. So see, Durham from front is going to be a DNS. So we're going to have 7 riders in that gate, Jason, ready to...
7 riders, it's interesting. That full gate really makes a difference. You have 7 riders or 6. That extra space on the gate definitely makes it feel more comfortable up there and like you have a little bit more room to move. So it looks like we have a battle going into the first corner. We have Turner and Harmson with Kronk in third. Turner again on that GoPro lap, showing his comfort level on this track. So here he is, just executing just as he did on that GoPro lap. Maybe a little less style, but all business. Gets that step up good through the rhythm. Seems to be okay, and I believe that is Harmson in second with Kronk in third, and it looks like it'll stay that way all the way to the finish.
Yeah, so top 4 will be Turner, Harmson, Kronk, and Pillard. Those guys are excited to get through that lap unscathed and low points, getting ready to move on. So we'll get ready for Heat 17. There's 19 elite men's motos: Bindelos, Kadyshev, Descend, Dubois, Christofoli, Sandberg, Sakabara, and Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda has been on and off with this Supercross season, not attending all of them. He's known for his skill, and he can pull out a first straight every now and then. Ben Loss riding for the Jamaican contingent, the only one. We know that country has a great sprint program as it pertains to the 100 meters. Let's see what he's got in these few meters into the first turn. Pretty interesting mix of riders with Dubois and the rest of cast of characters on the gate, huh, Pete?
Yeah, I think it should be interesting to see. Kadyshev from Russia has been one of those riders that stand out. And right now, as you said, Miranda's been one of those guys on or off, and he looked to get down that first straightaway to the bottom of the ramp well.
He did not clear that first jump, so he is at a deficit right now. Ben Loss in 7 and Miranda in 8, and it looks like looks like up front going into the second corner. Oh, we have a crash. So Dubois is just kind of by himself with Kadyshev in second, the Russian. Oh, but he cases that step and kind of pops off, lives to tell about it. So everyone's kind of spread out going in this last turn. Dubois, Kadyshev, Sakakibara in third, making Japan proud, and that's how they'll finish up this lap.
So Miranda will settle for fifth. Bindelos was the one to go down into that second turn, running into Svanberg from Sweden. So, so we'll get ready for heat number 18 in the elite men's class. Ferraro, Kriggers, Andre, Klashenko, Vanderwoodgist, Murda, Lenard, and LeBlanc. And Jason's allergic to
I'm allergic. There's a
qualification
lot of
rounds.
wind blowing, so you'll have to excuse my voice. It's not its normal excited self, but I'm always excited to watch the BMX, but it is sounding a little bit different as the dander in there. Looks like we have the down rider getting off the track, and we are on top of the hill. Starter is ready. It's great weather, as you can see, with the jean shorts and t-shirt.
Better than the Euro Shanks.
And
Chance.
this is definitely, sitting on that gate, and a good way to tell, how the wind's blowing is just looking at some of these flags. You can see what direction the wind's blowing in, and about how hard. But either way, the best way to the track is to get that backside and keep on pedaling. Looks like Tyler Ferraro, lane one, not out the best, but he'll probably squeak into second into the first corner. Going into, we have Andre in front with Ferraro in third, and the second place rider is giving him some pressure, giving Andre some pressure. Coming through this second corner, we have Andre, Klashenko, Kriegers, and Ferraro in fourth. So pretty interesting cast of characters here. Andre's always been pretty consistent, good around the track. Latvian makes a dive, gets in that second spot with Klashenko and Ferraro.
Yeah, so Sylvan Andre, another one of those personalities that we love to see on the Supercross circuit, taking the win here in heat number 18 for the elite men. Kringers in second, Klashenko in third, and then Ferraro in that fourth place. Our currently qualifying position. We'll see how things pan out after the next two rounds. But we go into the last round, heat number 19 for the elite men. Last run for these guys in the first round of motos, and we'll see the start list of these riders as they get ready. Jason, as you said, the first straightaway a good telltale of how windy it is of those trees that line the first straightaway. I don't see any movement there. As you said, things are get a little bit more exaggerated on top of the gate, but there's just a slight breeze, and I think their gusts can come from any direction at any given time. But right now, things are pretty calm here for these riders.
And the trees block the wind depending on which way the wind's coming from. Out of the gate, we have Tremonis coming out nice. He had a good shot. Legs are moving fast right in the first corner. Pedals around the guy on the inside, around Schmidt, and looks like Anderson in third. So it looks like he's pulling away the Latvian into the second corner with a little bit of style, turning that wheel. Tremonis trains with that Latvian contingent. Nice lofty boost over that step, getting good backside into the last corner. And we have Tremonis, Anderson, and Vanderheiden. So another Dutch rider, not part of the national team, but making a strong bid nonetheless.
So that will round out the first run here for those elite men, the first 19 motos. There's going to be 3 rounds of those riders on the gate, and we're going to move straight into elite women. We'll get you that start list for moto number 1 for our elite women. A little bit less. It's actually some of the this is the biggest Supercross of the season. So we'll see how things pan out as we get the elite women the first run. It'll be Schuster, Heisman, Bois, McLeod, Valentino, Ricardo, and Taylor. Those will be the women in heat number 1.
Yes, Recuero from Spain and McLeod. She was, the wind was definitely affecting the women a little bit more than the men over these first couple of jumps. So it's going to be really important for them to get over those first 2 jumps if they want to have good hopes of qualifying. McLeod was looking really good, taking it to the air, but looks like all three of them cased a little bit that first jump, but they did get over the first and second jump. They got through it. Uh, McLeod looking for a move goes to second, but then she comes back into third, and then going over this second straight, over these doubles, and then into the second turn, we have Valentino and Bao with McLeod in third. McLeod's got a little bit of heat on her with the Dutch rider, but they're spread out as they go into the last corner with Bao, Valentino now, and McLeod in the fourth as the Dutch rider edges out McLeod. So it'll be Bao, Valentino, Huisman, and McLeod, top four.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more pedaling, a little bit more hesitation there. It looked like from some of these women their first lap
Yeah,
around the
the wind's
track.
affecting them more, and they're at their limit. I think these are big jumps with the wind blowing. So part of it is survival and part of it is skill. I can say that with this next group, Peterson, Gomez, Dudot, Priez, Van Bentham, Carnival, and Walker. Walker being a silver medalist at the 2012 Olympics. Well, she's just coming back from injury, so she's been looking very strong, but not as comfortable as she normally has been in the past, just getting over the injury. So this will be an interesting run.
So get ready for the start here for Heat 2 of the Elite Women, and coming down the hill, it looks like it's going to be Marilee Van Bentham, who's got the whole shot. Dudot in that second place spot right now. Where is Sarah Walker? She's back and forth behind Prees, and now Dudot has traded positions with Prees on that second straightaway.
Yeah, Van Bentham looking really comfortable on this track. No surprise there. This is her local track, her training center. So she wants to show the crowd and her competition that she's taking total control of the situation. She's almost a straightaway ahead as they head into the last corner, as she is just putting a hurting on Priez, Dudot, and I believe Walker is still managing to stay in fourth. So I think Walker's going to look to survive. Van Bentham with the first, Priez with the second, Dudot with third, and Walker with the fourth. I think that's how it's going to go down for this lap.
Yeah, you definitely see a lot of battles on both the third straightaways, but especially for these elite women. A little bit closer racing, a little bit less connections of the jumping, so we'll see more moves made through there or blocks put through. So we'll get ready for heat number 3. Poitier, Aminka, Rouge, Rosas, Reno, Taylor, and Quinn Holla.
And keep your eye on Shaylin Reno. She definitely goes for it. She doesn't always have the speed necessarily, but she's definitely got the heart, and she'll definitely take a couple leaps down this first straight. And there she goes. She jumped through. Poitier had the whole shot, but Shaylin got that backside on the first jump, and there she is heading into the first turn in first with the Brazilian in second, Quinhala, and Poitier in third. So let's see if Shaylin looks like she's managing to stay in front. The Brazilian's contesting her, but couldn't quite keep her speed and get through those jumps. Poitier's probably going to catch up as she jumped into the second corner and the Brazilian rolled in. Reno taking too big of a risk and too big of an overjump. She crashes, goes over the bars. Now Poitier's in first, and Quinhala in second with Taylor in third. So quite a big change. I know Shaylene's going to be definitely disappointed with that after having won a moto, but she can manage to stay up. She should have some luck with qualifying. It'll go Poitier, Quinhala, Taylor, and Runge.
And so what we'll see here as well is as we get close, this is the last World Cup before Olympic selection is going to be finalized for countries with their positions as well as these riders. So say a country like Brazil, they know they have at least one woman going. They're not quite sure who it is yet. The points are pretty close. So you're going to see a lot of these riders putting a lot of pressure on themselves to have that best run, and then some of these other riders just want to go out and have a successful run here at the World Cup. As you see Shailene Reno trying to make her way through, rode a solid lap 3/4 of the way, but unfortunately
Yeah,
the finish line is
and
where
it's difficult because Shaylin probably lacks just a little bit of experience. It is a bit windier, so maybe she pulled up a little bit harder than she needed to, thinking she had to get over the jump. There's quite a few jumps on the track, and she overjumped and just went over the bars. But like I said before, she has a lot of heart, and I suspect she'll turn up next round and still be going for it. As she crosses the finish line now, I think most things okay. She'll probably get checked out by someone, but she's not limping, head down, just probably disappointed that going from first to seventh in that one lap is hard to take on the old ego. So be interested to see how she does next round.
So Heat 4 will have Ridge Davis, Smulders, Feisbeck, Diaz, Carr, Sorova, and Springers are our 7 ladies on the gate for their first run
So
around
we
here
have
in
South
Papendal.
America, we have Asia, we have Europe represented in this lap. And again, you know, getting over those first 2 jumps is going to be crucial for the women as far as having a good position into that first corner.
So the wind's just picked up just a little bit, and it's actually shifted direction. So we'll see how that affects the riders as they come down that first
Look,
straight. But right now, Smulders, someone
Small
who's no stranger to the wind out here, has a good start.
Yeah, Smulders has a great start. She got over the first 2 jumps. Carr was actually in front. She got over the first one, but didn't jump the second one. And you can see the benefit that Smulders got by hitting those first 2 jumps and jumping them versus rolling that second jump. She's got a huge lead. Carr goes back to third. We have Suvarova in second. And I got to say, the Russians have been really impressive with just their strength and conviction as they ride. I mean, they're showing a lot more consistency and speed, but Smulders just smashing everyone with the Russian in second, and Carr battling for the third, maybe fourth, against Diaz, who is the consummate professional and vet pro in her own right for the women.
So yeah, that was the younger of the Smolder sisters out there, going out there doing well here. And you said Sorova, she's had a lot of crashes this year, but she's always comes right back, and she's got a lot of guts. So we'll see how things pan out for her. So now we'll move over to the last of the elite women's Heat 5, beat Marie Reynolds, Tuckshore, Van Hess, Bondarenko.
Alexejeva.
That one. Thank you.
And I would suspect that Lauren Reynolds is. I wouldn't be surprised if she jumps all 3 jumps down the first straight. She was definitely boosting that third one into the first turn in practice. So if she gets a little bit of space, she's gonna jump everything. And there she goes. A little bit of case on the first one, but she's still gonna take it to the sky on the second one. Not jumping the third one, but still has that lead. And then we have Bondarenko in second with the Canadian in third. So, oh wow. Looks like Lauren Reynolds got a little bit of a gift as she's going down the second straight by herself. Looks like second and third fell off. So we have Reynolds, Mayer, and Van Hees. And Reynolds just has the whole third straight to herself, kind of popping through that rhythm, rolling into the last corner on a relaxed note as Mayer is coming up in second. So Reynolds with the first, nice win for her, clean lap with Mayer and Van Hees and Labankova for the fourth.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bondarenko went down. She collected Tuckshire with her. Tuckshire had a good run going there. But unfortunately for her, she's going to have to settle for 7th place at this time. So that was it for the first round of elite men's and elite women's motos. As we said, a little bit of wind here, but for the most part, outdoor supercross, you expect the worst. And right now, the weather's nice. So
And, you know, at the end of the day, you want to figure the wind is just another obstacle out there. I mean, it's part of the race. You get to the track and you want to get your timing down on the gate. You want to get the jumps down. You want to get the rhythm down. Maybe have 1 or 2 ways through them, and then you know, at the end of the day, like I said, factor in the wind, the weather. It could be wet, it could be cold, could be hot, and could be windy, or all of the above. You never know what you're going to get, so it's just part of the race. And a lot of times, I see riders, you know, focused on 1 or 2 things that are negative or that they don't like, and they let that get in the way. So it seems like it's also a test of will out there as well. What do you say, Pete?
yeah, definitely, and it's always a good sign, I think, to see the guys watering the track when we're in Europe, because usually there's no need for the hoses. And as you said, you know, I'll take that, and I'm sure the riders. It's funny because there's always something to complain about. It's too wet, it's too cold, it's too hot. Pick one. I'd rather be too
Well,
hot than the rest
yeah,
of them for
definitely.
myself.
I think as a former racer myself, I preferred the heat rather than the cold. It is interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Yeah, they're watering the track because it's actually dry out there, and also this track is new, freshly built, redone to match the Olympic track in Rio, Brazil, as best as possible. So they're taking good care over here of this track, and we're seeing riders getting pushed to the next level, which is good. That step up in the coming out of the second corner on the men's side has definitely tripped some people up, and you almost hit it blind when you come up to it. Some guys overjumped it and some guys didn't. We have a little view of the VIP section. People taking in some spirits and whatnot. Have a some ice cream. So it's definitely nice weather out there. People are enjoying the scenery, the racing, the weather, having a good time.
Yeah.
Pete, we didn't get any VIP passes today.
Well,
What happened?
I actually got some, but you were too busy signing deals or making your bid for the World Championships in a few months. I know you just turned it down, but yeah, I had a couple snuck away thanks to Tioga. They were providing those for us today. But yeah, it's a top-notch facility out here in Papendal. Everything about it is just great, from the VIP area, but more importantly to the track, the facility. We're at their Olympic Training Center here, and it's just one of the ones that set the standards really high, and as well as the conditions for all these athletes. They're really, everybody's pretty close. We're on ground, at least I am, and most of the athletes are staying right here, just right down the street to get to the track. And as we said, the well manicured track, that it was kind of odd. They changed this track while the Dutch team was out of the country, which I think is a good thing. But these riders, they came back. They didn't even have time to ride it because it was right when the season started. So the hometown advantage, as the people like to say, I don't really think that's going to come into play here, as most of the riders haven't had that much time on it, and a lot of the countries came a week early to ride on this track, as well as you said, get ready for this event. But it is pretty close to the replica of Rio, so a lot of riders spent some time here last week before. So it'll be interesting to see when we get into racing tomorrow with those top riders. Most of those are the ones that have pre-ridden it, as well as some of the riders we've seen today.
That's right. That is an interesting point because when they were changing this track, the Dutch riders were basically on a world tour of sorts, traveling around and riding other tracks. So the playing field is about as level as it can be as we head up for the second round qualification.
So
With
it'd be Fierro, Lindegrod, Mandermaker, Strongbergs, Planting, and Van Dam. So the motors are scrambled, so it's going to be difficult to keep track of points. But your favorite rider, you can just tally it up, and you
as a
usually want to
rider,
make 11. 11 points usually makes it through. I'm not making any guarantees
and
or
lately
promises.
it's been and lately the cutoff lately it's been 10 points. 10 with a 3 at best. And when they scramble the motos, that means you're racing someone, mostly you're racing someone different every lap, so you don't know who you're going to get. I think the riders, I know I used to prefer scrambled motos, um, and I think the riders prefer the scrambled motos as well. Kind of mixes it up, and especially if you had a bad lap, it's kind of nice to race a fresh crew. We have looks like Fiora's in lane 1. He's had lane 1 twice now. You can see Stromberg's, and he looks to be in lane probably 5 or 6. Stromberg's is very comfortable on the outside at this track, at this facility. He having won from lane 8 before, a couple of years prior, maybe 3 years prior. And it's just interesting to see these people on the gate, just sitting there balancing, trying to focus. Looking at Stromberg's, he's sitting there strong and poised, and then maybe these two younger guys and 2 or 3 probably look a little bit like, what am I doing here? I can't believe I'm on the gate with these guys. So it's definitely an interesting psychological study, to say the least.
I know all you top riders, when you were one of these guys, Jason, you didn't care who you got on the gate with. But if I was racing today and Mara Strongberg was in my moto, I would definitely take notice of him. Except for right there, he maybe giving it
I don't
easy
know.
on these
I
guys.
don't know
Back of the
exactly what
pack.
happened. I think I don't know if he's testing himself or not, but maybe he didn't get the gate he want. Fayaro though came out nicely. Lane 1 came out strong, riding commandingly well into the second corner. Looking fast. I mean, looking like he's back home in Florida at an SSA race, running it strong. And this will be good because he didn't have the best first lap, so I'm sure he'll be happy going into this last turn. Going into this last turn in first, we have Fierro, Mandemakers, and Planting. I think Stromberg's is still maybe 5th or 6th, and that's so the finish would be Fierro, Mandemakers, Planting, and Le Negard with Van Dam for the 5th. I don't know what happened to Stromberg's, but he's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. He did say that he seems to do better when he's under pressure. Well, this is going to be it because he's going to have a first and a 6th. He's going to go into that third round with 7 points, so he's going to want to get at least a 3rd or better next round to qualify through.
So get ready for Moto number 2, their second run. Miranda, Dumont, Racine, Bujaki, Svanberg, Lacan, and Dominguez will be the 7 riders getting ready to hit the gate. or hopefully not hit the gate, but hit hit the hill.
Hit.
Well, they don't want to hit anything.
Nobody wants to hit the gate, but definitely hit it hard and go as fast as they can. Looks like Miranda's in lane 1. Let's see if he can redeem himself from that last round. Otherwise, he's done. I think he had a 7th or 8th last round. So the gate is popped there down the hill. Looks like Miranda with a nice jump to manual on that first jump. So he didn't jump the whole thing. He kind of jumped and set his back wheel down early, but it was nice and smooth. Bujaki in first with Marin in third. Miranda holding on, a little bit of a case. We have the Hungarian pulling away. Miranda in second, trying to get some speed with Marin Dominguez in third. The Colombians are always known to be strong finishers, training at altitude. Bogota, Medellin, where the world champions will be. But Bujaki, Miranda, and Marin, top 3. I think Miranda might try to make a bid, but just not enough there. So Bujaki, Miranda, Marin, and Racine for the 4th.
So really mixing things up there, as we said, with these scrambled motos, but let alone having a great result. How much more pressure does that put you on for that third round?
It's interesting. Sometimes the pressure is good and sometimes it's not. It's just if you're going to let it feel it. But we have Klashenko, Sebesto, Peebles, Breithauer, Tomko, Jones, and DeRom for this lap.
Kevin Tomko?
Not Kevin Tomko, but hopefully he's watching. Hi, Kevin Tomko. We love you and miss you.
So Trent Jones definitely going to need to put a lap together here. You saw him crash in that first run over the first or second jump. So let's see how things pan out as the gate goes down. It looks like Jones is out strong.
Jones is out strong again, looking for that breakthrough race. The Russian in second. Again, they have some heat. Klashenko, Breithauer in third. So this is, barring any incidents, the Russian's still pressing it, still pressing the issue. He says, I don't care if I'm on the outside. I'm still going to go for it. Tries a high-low. Trent Jones looks really relaxed. Maybe went back and did a little quick meditation before this round, but he looks pretty smooth and strong. He's going to shut down Breithauer into the last corner. He's like, no, I need this first. I want this first. Klashenko goes back to third. Breithauer's going to stay in second with Jones with the first, but that'll be good for Jones heading in, and Sebesto with the 4th, Peebles with the 5th. That'll be good for Trent Jones, seeing as how he just had that crash. So as you can see already, some guys finished well first round and didn't second round, and vice versa. So that's going to mix up points, especially with these mixed motos. Pete, who's on the gate?
So it's going to be Kronk, Palmer, Kalan, Furlan, Ezekiel, Del Suez, Phil. Not Moto Phil. Olivian and Nagard. Well, that's to be determined.
Yes. So they're on the gate. We're
So
looking
Palmer from Canada, number 66. He's been riding strong, but he's a little bit still inconsistent. He definitely, same thing. He wants his breakthrough race, but he's riding really small, and here and there just has some, whether it's caused by him or a competitor, he's get caught up and just seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Let's see how things go for him.
It looks like the Brazilian came out of the gate strong. D'Souza is out of the gate, and then nice into that first corner. Nice arrow tucked. Kronk in second. Callan in third. The Australian in third. He's been known to work with Luke Medill and get his good riding in. Callan moves to second. Kronk back to third. Ezekiel in first. The Brazilian in front. And they're pretty good with these steep and deep tracks, as they're called. They like the big jumps. So he's going to finish strong. He's not making many mistakes. We have.
Yeah, Kalan made a little bit of a mistake there. Tried to push up Kronk. Unfortunately, he got high-sided. Palmer was able to come underneath and capitalize, but Kalan was able to stick it till hold it back to fourth. He was trying to go for that second place, but there's a lot of time lost in that last turn trying to make a move.
Every point counts, so I'm sure Callan is wishing he stayed in second.
So we'll get ready for heat number 5, Viete, Pomerov, Espana, Remritz, Frank, and Strazins.
I don't speak Latvian, Pete. Did you take that class in high school?
No, but I do know that Ramiro Marino is a DNS here.
Yes. So this group seems to have only 6 guys, a little bit more space on the gate. So we'll see how they bunch up, if at all. Looks like Vade coming out in front, being contested by Ospina coming out. And no, I think that's Vade in front with Ospina in second. Going into that second corner, they seem to be spread out. pretty good distance between second and third. Ponomarev in third. Ospina getting hung up a little bit over that step up. That's a tricky one because again, it's that square landing, and you want to get good backside there. But we have the Latvian in front, the Colombian in second, and the Russian in third. And again, that Russian contingent staying strong and staying consistent with Strazdins, the Latvian in fourth.
Yeah, so definitely a good mix there of riders in that roto. So we'll see how things pan out for each of them as we got one last run for them. But we'll move over to heat number 6 for the elite men. Cameron Darnard, Van de Huygen, Amelia Follow, and Dumway.
Yeah, so
The motos.
5 guys in this moto. It
Yeah, I was
seems
going
like
to see Matsushita and Bindelas are both DNSs.
yeah, so it seems like they did not. Those two missing might have decided to sit this one out due to how they're feeling. The gate pops though, and Fala looks pretty good on the outside with the New Zealand rider in front.
yeah, Cameron.
Just with the Cameron with the power, Fala in second. Fala working with Christian Bessarini, another champion from Argentina. So his training is good and sound, that's for sure. But Cameron just taking commanding lead, got that long leverage, getting those cranks around. Let's see how they look over this step up. They all get over pretty well. Top 3 pulling away from the fourth and fifth, but again, just not a big field on the track. They have more room to move and can make a couple errors without it costing too big with only 6 riders on the track, or 5 riders on the track actually. So Cameron, Denard, Fala, and Vanderhoogen.
Yeah, so Denard will get around Fowler right at the line, and Cameron will take the victory there in heat number 6. So we'll move over to heat number 7. Milano, Oquindo, Shippers, Luki, Nicolas, Verneven, Ramos, and Williams. So we have all 8 riders in this one, Jason. It's definitely going to be a little crowded down that.
Definitely going to be
ramp.
a little crowded. It'll look a little bit different. I'm sure when they were watching the gate in front of them, they were probably thinking, "Man, I wish I was in that one." However, we don't always get to choose what we get. Gate comes down, and it looks like the Dutch rider just in front, but now we have the Venezuelan taking it over, Milano, with Oquendo and Shippers. This moto is what I would call an undercover fast moto. Like these guys, they all have a lot of experience. They're all really good bike handlers. And they just might not have all of the consistency as a Willoughby or Strombergs, but these guys nonetheless, they don't make many mistakes. And so again, Oquendo, Milano, Shippers, I mean, these guys they're ripping through this last straight and still battling all the way to the line. So Oquendo, Milano, Shipper was with the photo finish, and Lukey for the 4th.
Yeah, Kindo's one of those riders that you kind of don't notice throughout the whole day, and then you notice when he's on the gate for the main event, or that semifinal. And he's also obviously been one of those guys to be a standout. So we'll see.
The only thing Oquendo's missing is the big win, huh?
Yes. So we'll get ready for heat number 8. Christian, Dubois, Suarez, Dean, Hygen, and Busser.
And what's interesting about this moto is Jonathan Suarez. I mean, he has been on the circuit for. I mean, I think I used to race. I know I used to race him, and he's going for his road to Rio right now as we speak. So he's one of the older statesmen out there, but make no mistake, he's there to do his best. Looks like we have Dean coming out strong, just like last moto. Let's see if he can hold it together and keep that win. He's going to want to have low points as he made that mistake in the first round and ended up with a high score. So Dean's going into the second corner looking strong, making sure that back wheel gets over the landing. So we have Dean, Christensen, and Suarez. There he goes in third. And Suarez pushing for the second place. Let's see how they go through this third straight. Suarez looks like he gets past Christensen, and he might even try to make a move on Dean, but Dean shuts him down quite well. He's like, "No, homie, I got this." But Dean, Suarez, and Christensen top 3 with Heijnen in the 4th, the Dutchman.
Suarez's nickname is the Mosquito, and he just won't go away, Jason.
He won't go away, and that's all right because we have love for Suarez. Moscow, that's what they call him. So he's definitely, and just as an aside, he's a good sportsman. I'll say this. Every time we've raced, and if I've done better, he was always happy for me.
So getting ready for heat number 9, I'll be Willoughby, Kadyshev, Kazama, Taranche, Dupont, Delnier, Bensink, and Garaud. Not even close.
Yeah, full gate with some French people in there, Pete. It's the accent. It's the ho ho. That's what you want to do in the French thing. But Sam Willoughby in lane 1, ready to go. He's just going to shoot out of the gate like it's just a walk in the park, a fast walk, I'll say that. But Willoughby, and I believe that's Bensink in second with Kadyshev in third. Willoughby's looking really comfortable, looking to say, yeah, he wants to go into the third moto with 2 points, 2 bullets. Willoughby, Bensink, Kadyshev going into the third straight. Willoughby looking real nice and stylish over that step up. Bensink, I don't know what happened, but he has Kadyshev coming on the inside of him in that last corner. Bensink throws the textbook high-low, but it might not be enough. So it's going to be Willoughby, Kadyshev, Bensink, and DeRoche for the fourth.
So Willoughby with the fastest lap of the day right there, coming across, showing these guys what's up. Kadyshev in second, and Bensink holds on for that third. And as we get ready for, I believe it's going to be heat number 10 for these elite men.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of guys on this start list, huh? Villegas, Geerling, Juster, Wolk, Cristofoli, Sciortino from Italia, Omont, and Surigu from France. As we pan out, go to the gate, the flags are not blowing that hard, so maybe that might contribute to some faster laps. What do you think, Pete?
I definitely know Juster's one of those guys. He doesn't back down in any condition. Villegas as well. He's been in all kinds of wacky conditions before, but right now Juster's got the lead going into turn 1. Lot of dedication from this guy. Spent a lot of time in Europe over the last few weeks, did a lot of racing, and now he's out here killing it here in his second moto. With definitely what he wants to do coming.
Villegas in second from Argentina, and looking quite strong, looking like he's catching up to first. I think some guys' legs might be a little bit tired. This track is fast, but it's also long and demanding. So Juster, Villegas, Cristofoli looking like it'll stay that way for the top 3. And with the fourth is Omont. So the Italian just getting the 5th. So it'll be an interesting mix-up going into this third round. But a good lap by Villegas and Juster.
So get ready for heat number 11. Anderson, Andre, Nobles, Bernhardt, Vasquez, Sakakibaro, and Dodd. Barry Nobles had that whole shot in moto number 1. So did Silva and Andre. So we'll see how those riders meet up now that they're in the same race together. Both of them have a lot of personality. They both have a lot of skill. We'll see who has the most power as we get ready to drop the gate here for their second run in the qualification motos here at the UCI BMX World Cup Tour. Stop number 3 in Papendal.
And don't count out Sakakibara from Australia. He's known to put in a hot lap every now and then too. Nobles looks like he's in the pack a bit, but just hits that third jump tucked and comes out of the first turn in second. So we have Andre and Nobles, and I think Nobles might be there to challenge for the first place. He got a taste from first moto, and he's saying, you know, I kind of like seeing nobody in front of me. Let's see if I can get around this French guy, Andre. I don't think that's going to happen. Andre is solid, and point A to point B, all business, making it happen. Andre, Nobles, Vexa, top 3. Looks like Vexa might be in a little bit of trouble for that fourth, but not quite so much. Andreessen takes the fourth, Vexa third, Nobles second, and Andre first.
Yeah, what really stalled out Barry was Sylvain Andre got perfect backside out of this big step jump coming out of turn number 2. Barry cased it just a little bit, and that's going to make a big difference. A lot of riders have pointed out that's going to be a point of reference when we get to the single elimination racing. So we get ready for heat number 12. Kringers, Jimenez, Chappelle, Dupois, Richard, Hubert, Link, and Claybor.
I think it's Jimenez.
Him too.
The J is
Jimenez.
Okay.
Jimenez?
No, Jimenez. It's Jimenez.
It's like Jesus.
No, it's Jimenez.
It's not
Come on.
Jesus.
Anyways, the gate comes down. We have the Latvian going really fast in the first straight. Nice into the first turn.
Chris Kringers.
Kriegers, Chappelle, and Link. Chappelle, not Dave, but Chappelle in second, and the Latvian in front into the second corner around this concrete turn. I hear it's smooth as glass. Kriegers, Chappelle, Rago Richard in third. And again, that step up really can make or break you, if not by crashing, but just maintaining that speed. Kriegers looked like, Chappelle looked like he was going to make a move, but hung up a little bit, and Kriegers ended up winning. Jimenez with the third, and Rago Richard with the fourth.
Jimenez.
Pete, you're killing me with the names.
So we'll get ready for heat number 13.
Who's in Heat 13?
Some people.
Some people who are
Godet,
really
Marquardt,
fast. There
Komarov,
we go.
White, Webster, Schmidt, Vander Dwist, and Thurkesland.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to say that, but I think it's Weist. Vander Weist with Thurkelson.
You know, if they want to spell it Weiss, just use a V
Well,
instead of a W.
they spell it in their
No, just
language, not
no.
ours. So, but Godet,
So
Marquardt,
White,
Komarov,
is it
White.
White or is it White?
Well, in Great Britain it would be White, and then Webster, Schmidt,
Lettre race.
Let Trey race. Well, Trey, they let him race last moto, and he won that first moto. So, so we'll see if how consistent he can be.
Damien Godet's definitely want to have a strong run here. From the inside, doesn't look like he's got the whole shot. Who does, Jason?
Oh, White kind of had the whole shot to the first jump, and he cased. Godet is on the inside, and looks like Komarov, the Russian. Komarov, Schmidt, and Godet. Godet with that purple bike, keeping it real for Prince, in honor of Prince with that purple rain bike, that GHP. But Komarov, the Russian, riding strong. Marquardt, the Swiss, and then Schmidt in third. Looks like we might have a mix-up. Schmidt or the Swiss guy goes to fourth. Komarov, Godet, Marquardt. Now he's in third. And heading down the last straight, it's gonna be the Russian. Komarov, Godet, Schmidt, Marquardt with the photo finish, and Thurkelson with the fifth. White has a sixth, so he has a first and a sixth. He's got 7 points. So we're gonna the third moto is gonna be real interesting how this stacks up for everybody.
So they're definitely going to let Trey race next one. So we go to Heat 14, Calioron, Nagasako, Laboon, Slots, Laustin, Fantoni, and that guy.
Arcas. So not a full gate, but it doesn't mean this gate doesn't have full heat. So I'm pretty sure they're going to. Calderon had a good moto last time. He's coming out of lane 1, taking that carbon fiber bike to the front. Didn't have necessarily the best start, but he had a good drive into that first corner. Grabs a couple pedals. Calderon, Laustin, Nagasako in third. And so Calderon, once he's in front, he gets pretty comfortable. Big, tall guy, a lot of leverage. He's strong. So once he gets moving, you know, those French guys like their technique. They like to keep it clean and smooth. So he's riding quite well, very textbook down this third straight. We have Nagasako moving up to second, and Laustin, the Dane, in third. And I think they will finish up that way with Calderon, Nagasako, Laustin, and Le Bon for the fourth.
I feel like a Red Bull for some reason. I don't know why.
I just had one, and I just noticed I'm rocking in my chair so I think I'm good right now. But
Speaking
Herman,
of good,
Ramos, Lopez, Upshaw, Riccardi, Tornbize, and Merta, and Bohuslavek. That, I gotta admit, those names were difficult for me. I did my best. And by all means, you can text me and let me know how to pronounce them phonetically. Herman in lane 1 next to the Spaniard, and I see Upshaw in 5. So this is definitely a pretty good cadre of talent. Herman out clean. I don't know if he tried to jump manual, if that was a little bit of a case, but looks like Herman and Upshaw, 2 USA riders, going to put on a show for us with going into the second corner. Looks like they're staying consistent, staying smooth. It almost looks like they're trying to take up space on purpose. But Herman, Upshaw, and Riccardi, these guys are no strangers to these races. They've been on these tracks quite a bit. Looks like Riccardi's going to try to get in there and split the difference. Upshaw looked a little bit too relaxed, but maybe that's a good thing. Manualing all 3 into the last straight. It looks like a photo finish between Riccardi and Upshaw. Ramos with the 4th, and Herman with a strong win. But photo finish. We'll see how that turns out in the end, but that was definitely a strong and relaxed lap at the same time. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, CB Herman, who does take the victory there as we get ready for heat number 16. Pillard, Molina, Turner, Waktai, Limburg, Schoutman, and Verducci. Jason, it's easy to see. I think I saw it.
What's easy to see?
I saw it from up here, not riding. I saw Upshaw go to the right. He wanted to set up Herman, and meanwhile, he just left the door open for Riccardi.
And that's, you know,
it's easy to see from here, but when you're racing, how different is it? We'll get to that right after we talk about the blazing fast Bodie Turner.
Well, Bodie Turner, what's impressive about Bodie Turner is his leg speed, and he's always smiling. So it looks like we have Turner and the
Molina.
Argentinian Molina, who likes to go down the first straight very fast. Um, whoa! And then third place, over jumping the step, and then almost casing in the third round. But the top three are just pulling away from the rest of the pack. Turner, Molina, Shotman, top three. And like you said, Pete, so we go Turner, Molina, Shotman, top three. And like you said, sometimes you want to go for a move in these corners, and you think, okay, I'll swing wide and then cut down. But by the time you swing wide, someone else is thinking, I'm going to go on the inside and get you. And so I think that's what happened with Upshaw a couple of motos ago. So when you see a move, it's really, dog eat dog world. You want to take it as soon as you can. But because everything happens so fast, and because the track's so fast and the turns are so big, you want to make your moves with conviction and make them quickly.
So here we go with heat number 17. Speaking of quickly, this Tramanis, Severa, Yoshimura, Harmson, Elbers, Beatty, and Lopez.
Now, Beatty's another guy, kind of like Suarez, been around for a long time, and he's looking to go on that road to Rio. Got the Latvian in lane one with his wrist rolled forward.
Does he have his transponder on?
Yep, he does have his transponder on. These guys are ready.
Scene of the crime here.
As we hear the gate call, out clean. Looks like Harmson with the hole shot. And I mean, technically the hole shot is out of the first corner, but with the great start down the first straight with the holes. Harmson, Tremanis in second. And these guys, again, tall, strong, they have the leverage. And they're very much, they're not necessarily known for their style, but they're known for their execution. They get the job done. And so these guys are just looking to qualify, ride clean laps, and make it happen. Coming out of that last turn, we have Harmson, Tremanis, and Sevita, and that's probably how they're going to finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good lap there for Sevita from Venezuela. First time I can remember in a while that he's been in the top three, so definitely a good run. Harmson and Tremanis always battling up in the front. Kelvin Beatty's back there in the fifth again. So he's going to have a big run in the third round if he wants to make his way through. So we'll get ready for Heat 18. Zula, Resende, Kinman, Bea, Stendel, Jari,
Guistacchini,
that guy,
Yari, and Letacono. So Zula won the first lap. He's on a gate of 8, and he's looking to be pretty comfortable. Tommy Zula's a nice chipper guy. Always has a smile, kind of bouncing around. Been racing forever since he was probably 3 years old. Out of the gate, okay, but it looks like he's going to go into that first turn, maybe third or fourth. I don't know what happened. He cased the jump a little bit. We have Bear, Resende, and Zula. Now Bear, the German, he's a strong rider, has the good pull. Another point A to point B guy, all about business. And Resende in second. I mean, he has. Check out his edits. I mean, he is just sick on the bike with his skills and manuals, and he could probably ride this whole track coasting and clear everything. And Resende definitely going to go for that first place. Out smooth, and Zula gains his steam back and has a nice push for third. So it'll go Bear, Resende, Zula, and Keeman with Gusticini in the fifth place.
Yeah, Resende's track speed and consistency is really good. He overjumped this jump down the second straightaway so far, about 10 feet past the landing. Didn't really slow him up too much. He went through that turn, did a double pump, and got through that third straightaway perfectly. So we'll get to the last moto here, Heat 19 for the elite men. Svab, Renkul, Isidor, Freiswick, Carvin, Kinman, Caribia, and Lefbriv.
Yeah, so Freiswick, again, Australians known for that speed, the strong pull down the first straight. Aquilin Isidore definitely has the talent, looking to get more consistency out of him. So we'll see how these guys stack up down the first straight. And Keeman, your world champ, who lives here, breathes here, eats here, sleeps here. He's just handling it down the first straight, even going wide in the first corner. He's like, I'm going to take the scenic route, get over these jumps. He's looking really good going into the second corner. I can say this much, though. Isidore or anyone who's behind a guy like Kimmin who lives here and rides here, you can actually learn something in the lap by riding behind him, which I've done in the past. Riding behind a local guy, going, oh wow, I didn't know I could go there. So let's see if Keeman exposes himself to Isidore Freiswick, and if Ren Carell can learn something from Keeman for the third round.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to learn how to hole shot from lane 8 in the rain on their first main event, but right there, as you said, those lines through the rest of the track definitely get that local. Like when you go out trail riding, because I know you're a big trails
I
guy.
am a big
Follow you on
trails guys.
Instagram. Saw you and your buddy the Stan last week hitting
That's
the
right.
trails.
That's right. I go to the trails with the trail riders.
So we'll get ready for the second run for the elite women. It's going to be Lauren Reynolds, Quinn Holla, Bonarenko, Walker, Van Hees, Marie, and Lashekajev. They gonna have a good race. And she said Lauren Reynolds,
So
not
Lauren
the
Reynolds
best
not
gate
the
this
best
time.
gate, but she's definitely going to get over these jumps. And you saw those power pedals as soon as she landed over the first jump. Boosts the triple step into the first corner, and again gifted as she lands because she lands with that much more momentum than the rest of the crew. And this is her time to shine. I mean, she likes to ride the trails. She likes to hit the big jumps. She knows how to She knows how to pump the transitions, and she works her advantages to her advantage. We have the Russian in second, who plays a little bit of catch up, but I think Lauren's feeling pretty comfortable out here and having fun. So we have Reynolds and not a
Bonarenko.
photo, not a photo for Reynolds, Bonarenko, Walker with the third, which is nice because she got fourth last time. And then Ihano with the fourth.
Coming back from injury, Jason. That's what we see Sarah Walker. She's a little timid right now, but two fourth places is definitely good for
She
her
had a
so
fourth
far.
and a third, so Sarah's she's the consummate professional, so she's gonna let the race come to her and do what she needs to do.
So we'll get ready for heat number 2 for the elite women. Duduk, Tuckshire, Van Bentham, Rancaro, Ridge Davis, Huseman, and Fisbeck.
Yeah, again, Van Bentham by in lane, I believe 3 or 4. No one next to her. She's very comfortable here. She killed it last moto, so I think the other girls are gonna either. I don't know how much she's going to be contested, but nonetheless, it's up to her to make it happen. So Van Bentham over that first jump. Oh, but they all grab brake before the second jump. I think the wind picked up a little bit looking at some of these flags, and now they're going in tight to that first turn. So we have Van Bentham, Huisman, and Dudot, and they're still tight into that second jump on the second straight. They're starting to spread out now, as we can see. Van Bentham and Huisman both fighting for it. Team riders, but not team riding, that's for sure. They definitely want those good points going into the third round so they can hit that third round just a little bit more relaxed, knowing they're going to get to play again tomorrow. But Van Bentham, Dudot, and I believe we have Huisman and Dudot and Fiskebek for the top fourth. So that was an interesting lap. I'm sure these girls are tired after that lap because if you don't jump those jumps down the first straight, especially that second one, you just have to work that much harder to get around the rest of the track.
So heat number 3, Sarova, Portier, Pries, Diaz, Peterstone, Carnival, and Taylor. Those are the 7 ladies lined up in the gate. And yeah, Marilee Bentham's definitely happy with her her results here today because in Manchester she didn't even make it to the gate for the race. She had a crash in practice, and unfortunately she wasn't able to compete. So all those riders want to race here. We do see a few of the Dutch men. They're injured right now, so they're missing out on their home race. Definitely not happy about it, but who's going to be happy at the drop of the gate here? It's going to be
Carnival, not a party for her. She hits the first jump, and then I don't know if it was the wind, but either way, she cases and she falls. Looks like we have the Russian Suvarova and Poitier and Pries. Poitier, another person who's been on the circuit forever, very consistent. She ended up with a top 3 last round. She's in second right now. Suvarova holding it down, getting through this third straight very cleanly. Poitier's looking like she's getting greedy and gonna contest for it, but Suvarova holds tight and says, "No, it's still my race. You're gonna have to come around the long way." So Suvarova, Poitier with maybe a photo finish, and then Diaz, the other vet, consummate professional, in third, with Priest in fourth.
Yeah, definitely a good battle there, and it's like every point counts. You know, these women definitely want to make it through. Sarova had that bad crash at the first, at each of the first 2 stops, still made her way through. Unfortunately, not in those main events. Poitier just misses out, gets that second place overall. So we'll get ready for heat number 4 for these elite women as they're loaded in the gate.
Dude, still getting the down riders off the track and the crowd giving them a round of applause because sometimes it takes more to get back up than it does to get on that hill. Uh, and this is a big track, and when you go down on it or you don't take it the way you planned on it, sometimes it just gets that much longer making your way around to get off the track. Anyways, up on the gate, we have the goggles with the mirrored lenses. These ladies are looking like they are ready to attack this track and go for the road to Rio. Pete?
Yeah, it's going to be Labakova, Taylor, Carbois, McLeod, Valentino, and unfortunately for the fans of Stephanie Hernandez, our current world champion in the elite women's class. She's not competing today, but there is your official start. Her name's on the list, but she is a DNS. So we'll get ready here for the fourth round. Heat number 4, second run for these elite women here in Papendal, Jason.
Yeah, everyone's off to a clean start. Looks like Carr did not get the gate she wanted. McLeod on the outside gets over that first and second jump. Looks like we have McLeod contesting for the first, but Valentino holds her off. So it's going to be Valentino, McLeod into the second straight. Valentino holding on tight, jumping into that second turn. McLeod getting passed by Bow. So McLeod back to third. Valentino still winning. Valentino, Bow, McLeod, and Bow's just saying bow down because she just keeps it pressing forward. She moves into first. Valentino in second. Carr looks like she's into a decent qualifying position with a fourth, so it's going to be Bow, Valentino, McLeod, and Carr. Again, that would be what I would call another undercover difficult moto because all of those girls had something to bring to the table and was something just a little bit different, yet they've been on the circuit for a while and turned out to be a good race.
So get ready for heat number 5, the last run here for the elite women. Reno, Gomez, Schuster, Smolders, Amikina, Runge, Rojas, and Sprengers. Yeah, we're gonna see if
So
Shaylin
Reno went.
can
So
shake
she
off
went.
that
She
crash.
was winning that first round, or that last round, or the first round, and went down. And so this is unfortunately a make or break round for her. I mean, this second round is for her a semi, really. I mean, because she's going to want that top 2 position, top 1 position to keep those points low, so she can have a little bit of breathing room in the third round. She is in lane 1, and she definitely looks intent as she's in the gate. Looks like the starters got them on hold for a little bit, but all these women are ready. Starter gives the signal. They all stand up, ready and poised to go. We hear the call, and lights go, and they're off. Shaylin Reno not with the best start, but she definitely takes it to the sky, and she takes it to the sky again. Almost gets cut off, but she has a fighter in her, so she's going to pedal all the way into the first corner, keep pedaling around. Reno, Smolders, and Sprengers. Now, Smolders is a smart track rider, and she's definitely well versed in tactics, as a lot of the Dutch riders are. So we have Smolders, Reno, and Gomez, top 3. Smolders taking it to the sky. Reno getting through that spot that she didn't get through last time, so I'm sure that makes a big difference to her. And then we have Gomez in third. Looks like they're going to finish that way. Well, Gomez is being contested for the third, but she's going to move over a little bit on fourth. So it's going to be Smolders, Reno, Gomez, and Sprengers for the top 4.
So that wraps it up there for the second round for the elite women. So now we move into the third round for these elite men. It's where the heartbreak round comes into effect, Jason, because as you know, those riders with 8 points, 7 points, they're kind of going to be
Yeah, you're gonna be on the bubble. Fourth. It used to be fourth or better, but nowadays it's really third or better. And in Supercross racing, these big tracks, these speeds, these big jumps. I mean, unfortunately, the heartbreak round can be the first round because, as we saw in the second round, there was a few guys missing, and we see them getting the track ready. Some water getting thrown on the track. People making sure that it is in tip-top shape. For these riders as they go, and we see the flags are not blowing too much, which is ironic because they're not racing right now. It's kind of if you're superstitious, one would say it's a bit of a curse that the wind dies down when no one's riding the track. But alas, like I said before, the weather is also part of the race as well. So taking in that whole environment, being aware of your surroundings, that goes into not only the preparation, but that goes into really being at the race and taking it all in and being prepared. So this is the game. This is the game they're playing.
I think you had a lot of Red Bull, Jason.
Well, no, just one can, but it
Just
was
one
really good.
can.
I normally don't drink
Yeah, I could tell.
that much caffeine. I usually have one caffeinated drink a day, but I had the Euro coffee, which was amazing, and then I had the Red Bull. So now I have wings. I mean, I would get on the gate right now if I
Well,
had my kit.
it's not too late, and I'm pretty sure we could get somebody to send it over where we were able to get you that kit. It's like a big party up in here. I'm not quite sure if anybody actually knows what we're doing.
Yeah, they are having fun in the booth up here.
Hey,
We are between motos. It's okay as we get a view of that UCI BMX Supercross World Cup finish line banner, and then the coaches area with the Red Bull tent by the starting hill. Now we're back on the gate, and just enjoying our nice day in Papendal in Holland, the Netherlands.
what happened? What did I miss?
No, I was telling the fans I was
about the
telling
gate.
the
Did you
fans
tell them about the
gate.
starting gate? Looks
What
nice.
The starting gate does look nice, and what I wish we could see is the actual view that the riders have going down it. Because right there, it looks like it's relatively
You know,
relatively flat,
we
but
could
it's actually there's a drop. So you come out of the gate. There's one, two cranks, and then there what they call the kink, and then it kind of drops down, and then you just get catapulted into the first jump.
maybe
Which
we can show that. Maybe not. Maybe we can.
show that GoPro lap. That would be nice for the fans to see another run of that GoPro lap so they can, now that they have more context from watching some races, maybe the GoPro lap would be interesting. As you can see that berm jump, hitting that lip, and all there is a concrete wall in front of you. You definitely want to make sure you get over that and get good backside.
Well, we're here to deliver for the fans, Jason. So let's get another run here of the GoPro course preview brought to us by Barry Nobles, and you can tell the riders about that.
Barry
right here.
Nobles and Bodie T, so they're coming out of the gate. You see Bodie Turner over that jump, laying it flat into the first corner, couple pedals there. And this is not even race speed. So hitting that jump, you can see Barry Nobles catching him in the air, actually. And this is, imagine this with 6 other people on the track, or maybe a few people on top and below you, going over that step up. You can go into this rhythm section and see how busy it gets as you jump into all these rollers, and whoops, into the last corner. Bodie T's going to shut it down. Barry's going to keep it flowing, but this is BMX, and again, this is not even at full speed. That's just kind of cruising speed to get an idea. But once it's race time, it's like, you're in traffic, you're threading the needle, you're jumping between people, through people, over people. Hopefully, you're not under anyone, and BMX is a fast-moving sport. So, like I said, being aware of your surroundings and having that race sense is ever so important.
So the contrast that we see between the first turn and second turn, third turn, the first and third turn are asphalt. The second turn's cement, concrete. Now, for me, as a layman, jumping, just the contrast of just jumping that berm jump when it's all white like that, how do you get your point of reference in the air, Jason?
Well, I think there's a line on there, but the point of reference, again, being aware of your surroundings. So there may not be a line there drip on the landing. However, there are those camera tripods sitting there, and so that's the, if you walk the track and you're kind of paying attention to what's going on, it's like, okay, well that's my mark. That's where backside of the jump is. What's interesting that you mentioned the surface area switching is, yeah, the asphalt rides different than the concrete. The concrete is very smooth and glassy, and it's new. There could possibly even be some slicker spots, especially if a film of dust gets on it. The asphalt can crumble, and it's older than than the concrete turn, and it's bumpier. Sometimes it's more grippy, but it's definitely bumpier. So definitely the difference in surface can affect the riding, especially if you're going into one turn as if it's the same surface as the other. So it's really finding, not only like racing your best and going 110%, it's also finding that rhythm, from the gate and then getting the pedals then to the next jump. So you come out of the gate, pedal, 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 jump, pedal, pedal, jump, pedal, pedal, jump. And then there's this rhythm. And then, what line are you going to take in the first corner? And then if there's someone in your way or someone's trying to make a move on you, well, not only being aware of that, but being able to counteract that, move down, move up, or just pedal out of it and keep moving forward. It definitely becomes dicey out there and very busy. So there's a lot going on because not only are you racing the track, which is challenging, but you're racing these other people who want the same thing you want. And I think that's one of the underestimated things about BMX is that you're really out there by yourself, and it's all on you to make it happen once that gate drops. So Pete, as the layman, which I don't think you are a layman at all. I think
you are the expert.
I don't know if I'm the expert.
You're a world champion.
I've done a couple laps.
World
I've
champion.
turned a few laps.
Pro cruiser.
Yes.
Pan Am champion.
That's right.
Olympic hopeful.
I might have been a hopeful. I was actually Olympic trial.
I think I heard you say something about you
want
wanted to be a hopeful this year. You're going to sign up for that LCQ?
No, I'm not going to sign up for the LCQ. I think I'd be more like a vet pro.
Well, we got Kelvin
Olympic
Beatty out there,
champion.
and
Well,
Mosquito.
Kelvin, they still got it in them. There was a little bit of drama back in the day when he had his other shot, and then he took a break, and then he decided to make another go of it. And Kelvin's been training hard and working hard, but I think Kelvin and Suarez are holding it down for the older contingent out there, the 30-plus guys.
Well, I think there had some talks about 2020 adding vet pro cruiser at the Olympics, so you might have a shot. You'll just be a little bit under 50.
You're killing me. You're killing me. I think.
And I think a Pan Am win gets you an automatic invitation.
I get automatic selection based on my 2007
and you won South,
win.
I know you've won South Park multiple times.
No, I've never won
17X.
South Park. No,
Justin
I've never
Green.
won South Park.
I won South Park.
Well, see, and that's why you're not a layman.
Well,
there you go.
That tough.
You see that BMX world? Pete he just spilled the beans.
I
He's not a
about
layman.
retired right after I won South Park because, well.
Now, for those of you who don't know, South Park is a very classic BMX track in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is one of it's a relatively downhill track, but it is classic. It's been around since the early 80s, known for actually big jumps and a big step up, I think, into the last corner. So if you win South Park, it is a big accomplishment to do that. And so Pete could have retired on a great note after his win in South Park.
Yeah, and that was on Factory GT at the time too, so it was big bonuses.
So
big
now
bonuses
we're seeing how much experience and how long Pete's been in the game. So don't let him fool you, fans. Pete has been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
He knows quite a bit about BMX racing and the business behind BMX.
I think I want to say 1991. I think it was 1991. I went to the World Championships in France at the Paul Ricard. I don't know if it's Paul Ricard. It was somebody F1 track. They had a BMX race, BMX World Championships. It was the last year of IBMXF, and whatever the other one was before it was officially UCI.
It was FIAC. It was FIAC.
It was about, you raced like 11 motos and 6 semis. It was something weird. But my other claim to fame there is I think one of my competitors flipped the gate, and I'll tell you why that. And I beat him. Is it a cruiser moto?
No, but he blew it. He blew it.
But that guy went on to win the main event.
Oh.
His name?
What was his name?
Christophe Levesque.
Really?
And he don't remember it.
Oh, that's great.
But I think
that's great.
But then I sold that bike to somebody. I can't remember. But that was a good weekend for me.
That was. That's one of the another thing that's not talked about enough in this sport is not only just the racing, but the experience of traveling the world to ride a bike and, send it over a pair of doubles in a different country. I mean, that is a very special experience. And to do that with this group of people that are, around the same age, that are doing the same thing and going for the same things and living the same life, it's definitely a special experience. And I don't think that's talked about enough. It'd be fun to do a lifestyle segment maybe one of these days and and travel with a couple of these riders and teams as they're. Although nowadays, I'm sure just traveling with them, they'd just be sitting on their phones the whole time.
Yeah, Jason and I were reminiscing about, and I flat out asked him. I said, "Would you want to race in this day and age, versus when he was 90s pro, big salary, 2000?" And we'll get to that later on because now we are back on the gate. But Jason will say no because he was making 200K salary. So anyway,
You're
we'll talk
killing me.
about third run here for the elite men. We have Juster Shippers, Richard Lopez Dodd, and the other Lopez. That's
España and France, both with the name Lopez.
George Lopez. So yeah, this is going to be the decision round here for these riders. They're going to have to go through. We'll have those results. Right now I can't tell you much on who has what. Jason's got a great memory. He'll tell you that. I mean, we know Juster had a good lap last time. After that, I can't help you. Shippers has been on his game today, but one of the Dodd brothers, Lopez's. So welcome back. I know you've been here the whole time to the Tioga Qualification show. Racing trying to make their way into tomorrow's finals here.
Fans are excited, taking those selfies, sending them out on Instagram as they load into the gate.
What's
clipping
the hashtag?
in.
What's the hashtag that you're using for your selfies this weekend, Jason?
Championship Life. UCI BMX.
Lifestyle,
Supercross.
Lifestyle Pro?
No.
90 Salad. I think you should use that one.
Lifestyles Racer. It's Pete, it's beyond the money. It's really
No, it's not.
about
Quit it.
doing what you want to do and doing a good job at it.
Want to go to the bank and cash those checks.
That too.
You used to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of it. It's part of it.
All right, so here we go with the third run here. First of 19 elite men motos. Jason, talk about
Heartbreak go round. Shippers out like a bullet. Legs moving fast. Nice into the first corner. A little bit of an overjump, so he grabs some extra pedals in that first turn, and he's coming out super fast. Going into the second turn, the concrete turn, the smooth like glass. So Shippers, Juster, and Rago Richard in third. Looks like they're staying relatively consistent. Maybe Juster's going to make a move, and he does. Shippers goes back to second. Coming out of the third corner, Juster, Shipper, Rago, Richard, and it looks like Richard's going to make a move on Shippers. So maybe Shippers, I don't know, got a little tired, a little lactic, but Juster, Shipper, Richard, and Dodd. I think Dodd's going to move forward as well, staying relatively consistent through these rounds.
So it's definitely a big bonus here for qualifying through, but also winning that last moto, and we'll get to that a little bit later. So heat number 2, it's going to be Willoughby, Klashenko, Bear, Svanberg, Elbers, Hubert, and Sarouge. Yeah, winning that third round is going to help get you that gate pick. Also, it's going to go by the overall rankings, but that's going to be a tiebreaker, and we know the points are going to be tight. A lot of riders are going to be tied, so that win in that last round, no matter what you've got, it's going to definitely help you in the qualification runs tomorrow and your first moto gate pick.
That's right. You still want to do well in this third moto because it does help dictate what lane you get next. Dictate your destiny as far as what lane you get the next day. And Sam Willoughby looking to make this a hat trick today, winning all 3 motos. It's not done yet, but Moto 1, Moto 2, he has a first, and now he's coming out of the second turn in first again. Looks like he's super comfortable on that step up, tilting his bike just sideways a little bit, pulling away from the rest of the crowd as the other guys stretch to get across that rhythm section. It'll be Willoughby, Klashenko, and Bear. And, being in front of Klashenko and Bear like that, I mean, those guys are powerhouses, and he just handled them. So Elbers bringing up the fourth, Hubert fifth, Sarug and Svanberg probably not going to make the show as we move on.
So right now, I think that Sam Willoughby is going to be our top qualifier. I'm pretty sure he's the only one that's won. I know he's won both the second, he's just a second run there, but he's obviously the guy that only won all 3 motos, so we'll see how things go. So next up is Nobles, Nagasako, Klimber, Remritz, Beatty, Heijin, and Busser. Their third run here. Moto number 3, third round, stop 3, 3 everywhere. Who's in gate 3? That's going to be Clybor.
I don't know who's in gate 3, but we see that bright green bike with Barry Nobles in lane 1. He's definitely going to take advantage of it because no one shut him down. He's just going to keep driving. Wasn't necessarily out first, but he just kept it driving straight and pointed straight. Now he's in the first turn, coming out first. Nobles, Nakasago, and Beatty with the third. I think Beatty might have to get the top 3, maybe even a top 2 to keep going on. Beatty's looking pretty comfortable on the track. Nobles is not known for making mistakes. And Nobles is very known for his track sense and skills. So Beatty's going to have to hope for something better if he wants to qualify on. I'm not sure what his other points are, but Nobles, Nakasago, and Beatty coming through to the finish line. Noble's very happy about how today went, I'm sure. Nobles, Nagasako, Beatty, and Remmertz, top 4.
I wish we had a replay of Barry Nobles getting over this step jump, because to me it looked like he dipped his front end and nose bonked, and it catapulted him onto the perfect backside. So we'll never know, but that's what it looked like to me. So Heat 4, Donard, Kronk, Ramos, Zula, Dupas, Yoshimura, and Guard.
Garou. I would say
You need another
Garrod.
tissue?
I do, but I'm working with what
some.
I have, if you could.
I'm going to let you call this, and I'll get
I'd
you,
love to
get
call
you.
it, Pete. Thank you. So the gate comes down, and Kronk out there with some strong pull. Looking good over the second jump, boost into the first corner. Doesn't pedal in, keeps a low line, but he pedals out strongly. So Kronk and Zula. Zula with a little case in that second straight on that first jump in the second straight, so that slows him up a bit. Going into we have Yoshimura, I believe, goes down. So now that's going to mix things up quite a bit. We have Kronk and Zula just taking care of business in front, quite a bit of distance between third. So Kronk, Zula, Alcohol Ramos in third, the España rider. So that'll be how they finish. Kronk, Zula, Ramos, and Dupas for the fourth.
So yeah, definitely nobody ever wants to crash. You definitely don't want to crash when you had a little bit of high points. So Denard and Yoshimura Garad, those three guys, it's going to be tight for them. So as we get ready, you just see these guys finish up the lap. You know, we've seen some crashes. We've seen some guys. Haven't seen anything really bad, but
which is good.
Which is good. If you have a couple of crashes, I guess you have high points going in. You already have 10 or more points. The motivation sometimes might not be there. Just so happens this moto, it's supposed to have 7 riders, but there's only 3 in the gate.
Yes, we have Ramos, Racine, and Svub.
This is like
from
a
the
total
Czech
points race.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know,
but somebody's gonna make
we
it
don't
move
like
on.
this. We don't like to see riders get hurt. But what I can say is that you know, you still want to put in a good lap, and who's to say what their points are? I mean, maybe there'll be a race out of it. But I'm sure these guys just want to have a nice clean lap and ride the track the way they want to, which is a clean lap, smooth, getting backside. And it's definitely still a race into the first corner. So we have Svoob, Ramos, and Racine. Racine's in third. Ramos in second, Svoob in first. Going into the second corner, all spread out. Svoob in first, Ramos, Racine. Maybe Racine's just on some relax excitebike, because he's kind of hanging out in third. Doesn't look like he's pushing too hard. Svoob, Ramos, and Racine will be how they finish. Only 3 guys. Hopefully the other guys that didn't show up will live to tell about it and fight another day. We don't like to see anyone get hurt, but that's how this moto will end. And I'm sure the guys before that moto and the guys after this moto wish they were in this one with less guys in it, but that is how it goes sometimes in BMX, especially with these scrambled motos.
The riders that did miss it were Twan Von Gent, Jelly Van Gorkum, so we know they're not even racing. Bindelas, who had that crash, but we saw him walk away after the first moto, so we know no one's too bad off. So next up will be Kadyshev, Webster, Furlan, Sindel, Verducci, and Denaller. Those are the riders in heat number 6, Jason.
Heat number 6, off to a great start. Kadyshev, Furlan with some nice pull, fast-moving legs into that first corner, getting good backside, grabs a couple of pedals in and out of the corner. Furlan, Webster, and Verducci, top 3. A little bit of a hang-up by Verducci, or Webster, I believe, in the second straight, but he gets back on it. So Kadyshev into second, looking smooth over that rhythm. Let's see if he gets greedy, see if he wants a little more. So Furlan, Kadyshev, and Webster. Furlan holding on, Kadyshev in second, Webster in third, Verducci in fourth.
So some of these riders, you know, they've been in the, unfortunately, you know, as you're coming through, being in the back of the pack, they're trying to learn from mistakes. And you can see, I think that time Kadyshev had a bad start, but he didn't give up, came all the way, almost battled it to finish win, but he was second. So next up, it'll be Clarion, Suarez, Resende, Torbiz, Greeling, Charvin, Dumont are your 7 riders in heat number 6. Your teammate there in gate 1, Jason.
Yes, Canton Caleron looking good. Has a little bump down the first straight, but still seems to power through. And then I believe we have the Brazilian in second. Hops in there nice. So Caleron, Resende, their teammates actually, with Suarez in third. So this is a pretty interesting group of guys. I mean, they're all solid. They're not going to make too many mistakes. All these guys have been around the block a few times. So really, it's probably going to finish like this. They're all spread out, definitely through going into the third turn. Caleron, Resende, Suarez, and that's how they finish. I believe these 4 guys will move on to tomorrow's racing with Tournbizet in 4th.
So here's our start list for heat number 8. Brethauer, Omna, Kinman, Nagard, Van de Huygen, Strongbergs, Limburg, and Strasdins. So Mara Strongbergs, we saw him have a good lap in the first moto. Second moto was horrible for him. So he's definitely going to have to come back and have a strong start here. He's going to be starting from gate 6, but when it's Mara Strongbergs, it doesn't really matter. But we'll see how things pan out as they are in the gate for heat number 8, their 3rd time around the track here in Papendal. So the gate's down. It looks like Maris has a good start this time. He's not going to back out, but he's going to be battling the world champion, Nick Kimman. Going into turn number 1, Nick Kimman will take it.
Oh, and Maris gives up.
Maris
gives up a little bit of space in that first corner, maybe a little bit too relaxed. So now he's in third. Keeman, this has got to be good for his confidence to beat Maris down the first straight like that. But Maris is coming up strong. He's getting over that step, hangs up a little bit. So Breithauer in second, Maris in third, and then Keeman with a commanding lead in first. Into that, coming out of that last turn to be Keeman, Breithauer's. Stromberg's making a little bit of a bid for that second place. A little bit of a lunge, but not enough. So Keeman, Breithauer, Stromberg, and Lanigard for 4th.
Yeah, so definitely a confidence builder there for the youngster Nick Kimman, and we know he can win. Hasn't had the start of the season he's looking for, but that definitely could propel him through this weekend here in his home crowd. So heat number 9, Laboon, Nicholas, Herman, Vander Wist, Upshaw, Kimman, Williams, and Frank.
So this moto's got some heat in it, and I think the points are pretty well mixed up. So it looks like we're going to have a race for it. Herman's probably sitting on the lowest points, but by no means can he just rest and relax. He's going to want to race. So Upshaw out, actually in front of Herman over that first jump. He might have overjumped it a little bit, and Herman got better backside. But into the first corner, it looks like Herman and Upshaw, these guys raced each other last moto and had a nice lap together. Looks like they trust each other quite well down the track. Upshaw very comfortable on the steep and deep, these big jumps. Keeman in third. So Upshaw just really laying down the landing gear on that step up, getting that back wheel down. He moves into first. Herman back into second and Keeman in third. So these guys will move on most likely to the next round quite easily. They get to sleep well tonight with LeBon in fourth. So Upshaw, Herman, Keeman, and LeBon.
So get ready for heat number 10 for the elite men. Molina, Marcourt, Jones, Fala, Verhoeven, Slots, and Pomerev. Those are our riders looking to make their way through. Bensick, unfortunately, is a DNS in this race. But we have the riders loaded in the gate for their third run here in their third round of motos. And let's see how things pan out as we get ready for the gate to drop here in Papendal.
Sleeves rolled up in lane one. He's ready to go. See the Argentinian pops out quite well. Molina always with the strong first straightaways, finishing strong as a lot of the South Americans do. Molina, Jones in second. Now Jones had that crash first moto, and a first. So I don't know if he's going to be exactly that comfortable with second. But we have Molina and Jones 1 and 2. Jones going to go for the first, getting past Molina. Molina just slowed up a little bit. I don't know what happened. Not enough for a dive. So Jones takes over the first with Molina, and then Marquardt in second. And Marquardt might be testing Yeah, Marquardt testing Molina, so that's a photo finish with Fala in fourth.
Yeah, so it'll be a photo finish there between Marquardt and Molina for that second position. So we'll see how things pan out. But it was Trent Jones, as Jason alluded to, needed those points, and he got them. So we'll think we'll see him move on. We'll see when we get to the results. So heat number 11, Milano, Kringers, Lukey, Palmer, Anderson, Planting, Peebles, and Dominguez. And it will be Molina who did finish third that lap. So,
So it looks like Milano's out there. Good run. Kriegers might have got hung up on one of the either the first or second jump. Milagos, Kriegers, Anderson, top three in the second straight. Getting good backside, pumping hard, pushing in over the berm jump into the second corner. Grabs a couple of pedals, Milano does, going into the corner and out. Over the step up nice. Kriegers hangs up a little bit, so Milano's going to pull away a little on this third straight. Kriegers manages to regain composure, stay in that second place. Palmer in the third. Milano, Kriegers, Palmer. That's how they will finish. Little pop off the last roller. Milano's feeling comfortable. Helmet off already. Kriegers and Palmer with the top three. So Palmer looks like he'll move on for the Canadian contingent. Looking consistent. So that's good to see from Palmer. And we will head up to the next round. There goes Peebles. Not the best day he's had, but lived to tell about another day, which is good.
so heat number 12, Scartino, Sebesta, Harmson, Dereche, Bakashlev, and Tomko.
So not a full gate, but definitely, third moto. Points are jumbled up. Sebesta's going to be looking for a strong finish. They're all going to be looking for a strong finish. And this is interesting. We have lane one. So there's different styles. So some guys wear the longer pants with knee pads underneath them. But if you wear shorts, you have to have the knee pads. And so this guy's saying, I want to wear the shorts to free my legs up to move around a little bit more. And with riding and racing, these guys do wear safety equipment and helmets. But like I always say, there's a fine line between comfort and safety. And you want to be comfortable out there when you're racing. And if you're more comfortable, generally you ride faster. So you can see the different choice in equipment from these riders, and that just lends to say how they feel and how comfortable they want to be when they're out there.
That guy's uniform's a mess, though. I'm sorry. Half shorts, half sleeves, watch, old gloves. Bike brand on his jersey doesn't match his bike. It's like a hodgepodge.
So Sebesta comes out of the gate quite nicely, but it's not quite enough as he's only in second. Looks like we have Harmson in first, a Dutch rider known for those strong first straightaways. Probably been riding here a couple times, maybe a few times more than the average rider out there, seeing as how he's from the Netherlands. But Sebesta in second, Harmson in first, pulling away even. Sebesta's looking consistent, really big space between 1 and 2, and then 2 and 3. So it looked like it'll be Harmon, Sebesta, Sciortino in third, and I believe fourth will be Durache from France. So Harmon, Sebesta, Sciortino, and Durache. I'm not sure if Durache will get through, but definitely Harmon and Sebesta will go through to the next round. Again, these are scrambled motos, so we really can't speak to the exact official qualification times.
So heat number 13, Komarov, Schottman, Schmidt, Freiswick, Chappelle, Pallard, Lanegra, Lacan. Those are your 8 riders. It's going to be a good battle here. We have some riders right on that bubble, so we'll see how things pan out for these guys.
So the gate comes down. They looked pretty even over that first jump, but now they're spreading out. And again, we have the Russian going into the first corner, coming in hot. Komarov, Schmidt, and Freiswick. Freiswick's another relatively consistent guy as far as speed is concerned. So he's going to want to have some more consistent results. But Komarov and Schmidt holding it down first and second, going into this third straight over that big step. Freiswick in third. Komarov looking quite poised going into that third turn. Komarov, Schmidt, and Freiswick, that'll be how they finish with pretty decent space on fourth place, and he seems to have lost that. So Chappelle, Pallard photo finish for fourth, but Kamar, Schmidt, and Freiswick for the top three.
Yeah, Freiswick was back in that fourth place spot, rode the second straightaway perfect. He got around Schottman, and then Schottman's race fell apart. He's going to go back to that sixth place spot. So we'll get ready for Heat 14. Viede, Mandermaker, Severa, Dean, Laustin, Jimenez, Lefebvre, and Van Dam Nam will be our 8 riders in the gate. I'm so respectful.
I think Dean will be looking for another win here, trying to find a rhythm in his day. He's had kind of an interesting season as he's had some injury, and then he came back, and then he has had some injury again. So hasn't lost much speed, but he might have lost, like I said, just the rhythm of the season. So he's going to want to get something going here. But Dean in front, looking good, seems to be where he wants to be, making sure he gets backside on those jumps. So Dean, Vede, and Severa. And Vede's no slouch either. I mean, he's going to push pretty hard. And then we have Jimenez looking like he's popping up into almost third, but then he got in trouble, went from third to basically knocked off the track, which is unfortunate. So it'll be Dean, Vede, Laustin, Mandemakers, Severa with the fifth, and that's unfortunate for Jimenez as he had a move going, and then, you know, like we were talking about earlier, you decide to make one move, and there's another guy that beats you to it. So it happens fast sometimes out there.
So get ready for Heat 15. Riccardi, Sakabara, Tramanas, Bernhard, Andre, Bujaki, and Letakonux. And
Letakonu.
yeah, the injury that Anthony Dean had, he had his collarbone plated, and the bolts were rubbing back through his skin, so he had to go back in and have, I think,
They had to put on a flathead screw instead of the rounded one.
And he still has that. It's pretty tender area. So, but he's made his way through, and that's definitely a great accomplishment for him.
So Andre's out in front, just legs pumping, moving, gets over that third jump nice and low and smooth, pumps down, pumps up, getting some pedals in between these jumps. He looks really comfortable, really strong going into this second corner. Andre Bujaki and Sakakibara, such a fun name to say, Sakakibara, from Australia. But again, another consistent guy. He looks to be in a bit of trouble there in the third corner. Riccardi looks to pop into that top three, but it'll be Andre with the win in that moto, followed by Tremanis, Sakakibara, and then Bujaki for the fourth. So interesting lap, and definitely third and fourth position down that third straight. But, you know, this is the heartbreak go-round, so some guys will be going home and wondering what happened, and other guys will be thinking about tomorrow.
So Heat 16, Aquindo, Christensen, Turner, Thurkison, Christofoli, White, Rancule, and Colon. Again, this is a pretty stacked moto, Jason, and I know these guys are all going to be fighting for each and every one of those points. Bodie Turner's been riding pretty fast today, as well as Christensen and White, so we'll see how things pan out. Colon as well has also been riding good.
Christensen, he spent some time in the U.S., you know, in the having some good weather as opposed to a European winter. So he was looking pretty strong. Unfortunately, he's in sixth right now, but Turner looks to be really comfortable on this track. You know, again, in front, legs moving fast, riding the track quite well, you know, with a little bit of style. Oquendo in second and Callan in third. Definitely this is a more difficult moto for sure. Looks like Turner gets a gets a little surprise from Rencarel. Oquendo in third, but it looks like it'll be Turner, Rencarel for the photo, Oquendo, and then Thurkelson. Trey White with the fifth. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't know what happened to Callan. He fell back to sixth. He was in third for a quick minute, but it was a difficult moto for sure.
So moto number 17, Isidore, Fantoni, Villegas, Godet, Miranda, Kuzma, and Ferraro. Again, a lot of big names here in one of the last motos, and it's definitely going to be tough for these guys. A lot of them sitting on mediocre points.
Yeah, so Miranda's got his work cut out for him. Isidore does, and even Ferro. He might have won that second moto, but he crashed in the first moto, or didn't have a great first moto. So all these guys are going to be going for it. I think Miranda's with the jump to manual on that first jump. I don't know how that's working out for him. He's in fourth. I'm sure he's going to want to scoot up a couple positions. Quillen Isidore seems to have taken control of this moto into the second corner. Again, another one of those big, long, lanky guys, a lot of leverage. So, you know, one of the interesting things about being behind a guy that tall and that big is sometimes it's hard to see around him on the track. They take up a lot of space. But he seems to be getting a pretty good, being contested pretty good from Godet. Definitely known for his skills, but it'll be Isidore holding on with Godet, Villegas, and Miranda for fourth. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough for Miranda or Fierro at fifth because they both had kind of shaky points going in to that third round.
That's what all the riders that used to say when they were behind you. You're a big, lanky dude.
Good.
So Heat 18, Ezekiel Del Sola, Murta, Waktai, Olivian, Gasushina, Walk, and Arcas. That guy.
So Heat 18, run 3.
Ezekiel from Brazil.
So these guys come out clean, no major hiccups there. Looks like we have a battle for first into the first turn. A little bit of a hookup on that hang up, I should say, on going into the first turn. Looks like Waktai in front, I believe, followed by the Brazilian in second. He has a nice line going in that second corner, stays low. Waktai, Ezekiel, and Guistaccini, I believe, in third. So heading into this rhythm, looks like Waktai gets hung up a little bit, but it's still enough to hold off the Brazilian, at least on the third straight. But the Brazilian contests him in the last corner, and they lunge for the finish. So Waktai and Ezekiel have a photo finish, while Guistaccini and Crespo will get the third and fourth.
So we are on the last round here, last moto for the elite men. It's going to be Cameron, Ospania, Vesca, Dumouet, Jerry, Dubois, and Dupont. These are the last of the elite men today in the third run, last of the motos.
So 4 French countrymen in this moto. That's pretty interesting. I'm not sure how often that happens where there's that many from one country in one moto, but maybe there'll be some country rivalry going on as they come out of the gate over the first jump. Everyone seems to get over pretty clean. I think the wind picked up a bit because I'm seeing more guys not get over that first jump as good as they have been. A lot of moves in the first corner. It looks like we have the Latvian in front going into the second corner, followed by Cameron in second, with Ospita in third. So Spida getting hung up a little bit in one of the rhythm sections. So it'll be Vexa, Cameron, and Dubois. Vexa, Cameron, and Dubois going in with Ospita in fourth.
So you got to be Vexa from Latvia coming behind Cameron, and it will be Ospina that was in that second place spot. So now we move into the elite women's third run. 5 motos here. McLeod, Dudu, Van Bentham, Marie, Ridge Davis, Labakova, and Sprengers. Those are the ladies in heat number 1. And again, these points are going to be tight too. Just 5 motos for the qualifications for these elite women. We already had the top 8 pre-qualified their way in tonight. You'll see that super final time trial. We're going to have a little break after these 5 motos for the elite women, and we give you the official results on who will move on. But right now we've got these last few races qualifications. And from the inside of the Melinda McLeod.
Looks like Van Bentham, or the Dutch rider, and then McLeod. McLeod had a good pop, but I just think lacked the leg speed. But Van Bentham just coming out and charging. Van Bentham, McLeod. McLeod's comfortable on these jumps, but Van Bentham seems to be pulling away, really taking advantage of those backsides and sneaking in those extra pedals with Mayer in third. So Van Bentham spreading the lead out, making herself at home with McLeod in second and Mayer in third, and they will most likely finish this way. Nice and spread out. McLeod will move on. Van Bentham will move on. Mayer will most likely move on as well. Very clean lap for the ladies with Labankova in fourth.
Definitely a much better day for both Marilee Van Bentham and Melinda McLeod. Both of them had issues in Manchester, but now it looks like they'll make their way into tomorrow's program. So we go into heat number 2. Bois, Carr, Diaz, Reno, Van Hess, and Walker. Walker's been a little timid, but as we said, she's first race back in quite some time after her injury, broke her arm, had some surgery, and now she's here. So let's see, she's got a couple of decent finishes, but we have Shaylin Reno in here who had that crash, and she's going to have to
Yeah, this is a mixed mode. I mean, I know Carr's sitting on, middle points. Walker's sitting on middle points. Reno probably has some decent points. She's jumping. It looks like 3 through 6 are going to have to work hard and pedal for it. But Bao, Reno, and now we have, I believe, Carr in third. Bao's having a pretty good second straight, getting over the jumps pretty well. Carr seems to be gaining a bit on Reno. Takes a wide line in that second corner and setting up, but Bao's just pulling away. Carr in third. Reno takes a little more time getting through that rhythm with a front wheel, kind of drops a little sooner than she would want. Carr seems to be in a little bit of trouble with Walker coming up on her, but it's going to be Bao, Reno, Walker, Carr with the photo, and Diaz for the fifth.
So yeah, Wow takes the win. Reno in second, waiting on the results of that photo finish. We'll get back to you with that. So heat number 3, Bodarenko, Poitier, Huseman, Peterstone, Carnival, Rojas, and Fiskbeck. So it will be Amanda Carr, who did place third in that last run. Sarah Walker will sit fourth. We'll see if she's able to make her way through. As we get ready for the start of heat number 3 here, Jason.
Yeah, so Poitier out well. Probably should have just jumped that first jump. That really cost her quite a bit. The Russian pulls on past her with the Brazilian in second. So Stevo, Bodrenko in first. So going into that second corner, that's how it will be. Looks like there's a bit of space. Poitier's in fourth, might be in a little bit of trouble, but Bondarenko in first, commanding lead, pulling away from Stevo. She running 93, which was my career number, by the way. Huisman in third. And almost got cut off by Miss Priscilla Carnival. So it'll be Bondarenko, Carnival, Huisman, and Poitier. I don't know if that's enough for Carnival because she went down second moto pretty hard. So we will see if she moves on to the next round. Again, our calls are not official.
Oh, mine are. Heat 4, Abby Taylor, Priest, Ricuro, Quinn Hala, Tucksher, and Schuster.
Yes. And I believe this is the last lap of
one more
the day, huh?
One more. Last lap of the day for these women in Heat 4.
For the,
well, 5 laps of the women. You should pay attention.
I don't know. It's Heat 4. Oh, yes, we have 5
it's hot.
heats.
That's what it is.
It is
heat
hot.
Stroke.
My Red Bull's wearing off.
And your sleeves are off, too, because he's going on a singlet.
Sun's out, guns out. So the Brazilian in this moto gets off to a great start into the first corner. Queen Hala, followed by Priest and Teixeira. So they are going into this second straight the same way they came out of the first turn. Looks like there was a little bit of an overjump by Queen Hala. So she's getting tested by Priest. And Teixeira's laying in third pretty solidly. The Spanish girl's going to stay in fourth, but I think we have Teixeira and Queen Hala followed by Priest. And that's how they will finish.
So across the line
so
will be
Priest, Queen Hala, Teixeira, and Taylor. And that's how they will finish. Sorry, fans.
Fans are bummed.
I'm learning.
So these last round, Jason.
Okay, this is the last round. This is the last round.
So
I'm sorry.
Lauren Reynolds, Sorova, Gomez, Smolders, Adamkina, Valentino, Ronge, and Lashjeva.
Yes, this moto, full gate, and definitely a difficult one. So we have Lauren Reynolds in 1. Now, she's known to get over those jumps, but she doesn't get her feet moving as fast as she'd like as early on, whereas some of these other girls do, but they don't get over the jumps as well as Lauren. So this is definitely, we could see some mix-ups here, but I have a feeling that Lauren Reynolds is just going to crack on and just press through anyway. Her goal is to probably jump all 3 jumps down that first straight. So Smolders is out, and Case is the second jump, and Lauren Reynolds jumps right in, and as per plan, just gets the gift of the momentum. So it's going to be Reynolds and Smolders with Valentino in third. Again, this is a group. These girls have been on the circuit for a while. Having that world level experience both in junior and now in elite, and so not going to see too many mistakes. Then Valentino's just slightly moving over on the Russian, keeping that third position. Looking a bit tired, though, but definitely Reynolds wins handily with Smulders, Suvarova, and then Valentino for the fourth.
Yes.
And that is how the qualifying goes down for the ladies.
Yes, Zarova pressed Valentino through that third straightaway, made that pass coming out of the last turn, got that third place, so it's definitely going to help her move on. She had decent points, but definitely a better qualification spot, and we'll see how things pan out. So here are the qualifiers for the elite men, Jason. Nick Kidman was the top qualifier. Excuse me, I thought it was going to be Willoughby.
Ranking.
Bodie Turner was third. Sylvain Andre. Komarov.
Milano, Harmson, Euster, Nobles in ninth, Okendo, Upshaw, Tremanis, Vede, Kriegers, Caleron, Nagasako for the 16th spot. Then we have Kronk, Godet, Zula, Shippers, Kadyshev, Vexa, Cameron, and Herman with 24, followed by Marquardt, Bujaki, Villegas, Palmer, Lausten, Philo, Bear, and Dean. De Jones, Molina, Klashenko, Resende, Sebeste, Chappelle, Suarez, Rencarel, and Bretthauer, Isidore, Waktai, Mandemakers, Stromberg, Schmidt, Svoob, and Freiswick with 10 points. And I believe everyone else will go home. So that's your cast of characters. They will meet up with the top 16 that you will see in the time trials later on.
So now we will get
Tomorrow.
you to the qualifying list for those elite women just in a moment here. And then we're going to have a 20-minute break or so. And then we'll get to the super final time trials for the top 16 of the elite men, top 8 of the elite women. After we find out which women move on to the program for tomorrow to race here at round number 3 of the 2016 UCI BMX Supercross World Cup. This round in Papendal, the last round before the World Championships. And then we have the Olympic Games in August. And then we come back on the tour in September, head over to the United States of America to Rock Hill. And then we'll move on to the finals. First time stop in Sarasota, Florida for the 2016 World Cup Finals. Jason's raced in Sarasota in the past. He's going to be excited. So there's our qualifying women. Marilee Van Bentham's our top qualifier. Lauren Reynolds in second. Bois in third. Smulders, Sarova, Priest, Porte, and Valentino. Those are the top 8 qualifiers today. Huseman, Quinhala, McLeod, Bonarenko, Marie, Carr, Reno, and Walker. Then we'll go Dudo, Diaz, Labakova, Gomez, Taylor, Carnival, Fiskebek, Van Hess. And that is it for the qualifiers for these elite women. So that wraps up this qualification process. We will have a 20-25 minute break. Then we'll be back with tonight's super final time trials from Jason Richardson and myself. Go grab yourself a cold drink, and in 20 minutes come back for those super final time trials with the elite men and the elite women.
See you soon.